Hello friends, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365, and today we're going to review Terminator Dark Fate. Channel, please hit that like button, subscribe, hit that bell notification. I put out videos every single day. You can also find me over Twitter and Instagram at Movie Guy 365, as well as over at the Disney Magic Hour podcast. I will leave a link for that in the description. Alright, Terminator Dark Fate. Now, I do really want to talk about this one, and I will try not to input spoilers, but there are several instances, especially within the first few minutes of the film, that it's going to be difficult, but I'll dance around it as best I can. Now, as far as the franchise goes, I think a lot of us have a love-hate relationship. We all love the first two films. I guess there's like kind of a level of perfection as far as those go. And then the subsequent sequels all kind of just do their own thing, split off into separate timelines. It's basically choose your own adventure at this point. You know, Terminator 3 I felt had some interesting moments. Salvation I thought was an awesome premise. Just, you know, third act execution was terrible. And, you know, of course we have Genesis. So these are all films that exist. But yeah, they all tell their own story. They don't adhere to, they all adhere post T2. That's like the benchmark. And I felt that, you know, when we were getting Dark Fate, because James Cameron was involved in a producing capacity, much like, you know, in Alita Battle Angel, which I felt was fantastic. I was confident that we were going to get something great. And Tim Miller, you know, I mean, I have a lot of respect for him, and of course, you know, his directing of Deadpool, the original, and there's just a lot I really, you know, dig about the director. So how did the product really kind of turn out? It's not really better. It's not better than any, I mean, I've heard early reactions were saying that, oh, it's the best since T2. That's not really saying much. If a movie's kind of bad, but it's less bad than the other sequels that have preceded it, you know, that's a thing. I mean, overall, it's not a great movie. It's not a total train wreck. But I think of all the movies, I would say with Genesis. I think Genesis and, yeah, you know what, I'm going to say it. I think Genesis and this one, Dark Fate, disrespect Terminator 2 more than the other sequels did. I thought T3 was just kind of more of the same, but like kind of in a more action-y type thing. And I felt Salvation at least was doing something new, you know, going in that direction. But I feel this is very disrespectful to just what was coming before. And it's kind of just like that kind of movie. And I feel like there was too much, I don't know, it's just, there was too much trying to lay your own groundwork, you know, change things. A little bit of a Force Awakens kind of perspective, where the Force Awakens ditches the Empire for the First Order. This one ditches Skynet for something called Legion, which I'm sorry that's not a overly original name, considering that name has been used before in several media recently. You know, I mean, just lots of just, it's not, I felt Skynet was scary, you know, like that kind of thing. Legion was like, okay, you're there, you know. It felt Legion was a little more touchy-feely. You know, it was just like everything described in Judgment Day was like a horrible kind of thing. Like, you kind of gave you nightmares to like a possibility. Legion's like, oh, a couple like Morphe robots are running around, you know. It's like, okay. But yeah, I felt like they changed things in that Force Awakens kind of feeling. Like, we make somebody else a new protagonist, and unfortunately they don't have the gravitas I felt Linda Hamilton did in the first couple movies. It just felt like, you know, I don't know, I'm not sure if it was casting or something to that effect, but it didn't, like, there wasn't a lot of presence. And then the human savior for this version, Mackenzie Davis, it's not a fan. You know, I know she was in Blade Runner 2049 in a kind of a bit part, but it just, once again, there's no presence there. There's no, I mean, I know she was supposed to be the pseudo Kyle Reese, you know, for 2019, as it were, but I don't know, I just didn't, there just wasn't anything there. There's no chemistry between the two. And it just seemed like overall kind of like a flat presentation. Arnold Schwarzenegger does pop in. You've seen him in the trailer, so that's not a spoiler. But he's more of a third act kind of like MacGuffin in a way. Like, just, you know, just kind of there just for the sake of being there. Now, as a creative person, I appreciate what they did with him in the connection to the original films. I appreciate it. I don't like it though. Like, I don't like what they did in that opening act, because once again, it's just kind of like throwing away T2. You know, I know, once again, I understand what they were going for. I do, but I don't know. I felt like, at least as far as the first two movies go, you're kind of just throwing it all away. And for something, you don't replace it with something better, you replace it with something actually subpar. You know, it's, as far as action goes, I once again, Tim Miller, I've seen him do better, and I think the action scenes were okay, but there was nothing there. I mean, there was just, it was a lot, it reminded me of just kind of an extensive stunt show in a lot of ways. I was watching a stunt show, and like, oh, we're going to top everything, but she kind of just made it boring. It's not a great film. I wasn't, particularly like hating it or anything, but it just, I don't know, kind of hated it in a way. It's like I said, I have a love-hate relationship with Terminator, the concept, the franchise, and I think a lot of you do too. And I think you'll understand what I'm coming for. I'm not gonna knock it too much on points, like as far as what they did right versus wrong, but I think overall, I'm just gonna give this one like a 6 out of 10. It's just not a fantastic movie. It's just kind of there. And, you know, if this is the continuity they're gonna go with going forward, I don't know. It's just not something I'm too particularly excited about. But yeah, let me know in the comments below what you thought of Terminator Dark Fate. In the meantime, please like, subscribe, hit that bell notification. I put out videos every single day. So until next time, this is Adam with Movie Guy 365. I will see you at the movies.